Hi everybody. This week's parasha of BeHa'Alotecha concludes with a story of a conversation which took place between two siblings, between Miriam and Aharon, as they're speaking about Moshe's relationship to his wife. Apparently Hashem found great displeasure in the way in which they were speaking and in fact punished the two of them, specifically or first initially Miriam, by giving her tzarat, an indication that what they were doing was involved in Lashon Hara. And so, accordingly, the Torah states that Miriam, like all tzarat, all those who were inflicted with tzarat, had to exile, had to be outside of the camp and wait for a period of 7 days until she returned to a state of purity. And the parsha concludes by telling us that all the time that she was outside of the camp, v'ha'am lo nasa ad he'asef Miriam, that there was no movement. In other words, God did not instruct the Jewish people during that 7 days that they needed to move from camp to camp. Rashi tells us that this fact is significant. Why? Because, as Rashi explains, Hashem was repaying Miriam for a good that she had done, for a chesed that she had done so many years ago. The people waited for Miriam to return to her home following 7 days as a sign of respect for what she did by her waiting to see what would happen to her beloved baby brother Moshe when their mother put him in the Nile so many years ago. I think this idea that Rashi is teaching us is significant for two reasons. One, remember just how long ago that story took place. Moshe was only 3 months old when his mother put him in the Nile, and at the time of this story, at the end of BeHa'Alotecha, he's 80 years old. It took 80 years for some sort of obvious recompense, some sort of obvious reward to be given to Miriam for the chesed that she did much younger, when she was a little girl, a much younger girl. And the second piece that I think that's connected to this is one which should give us all encouragement. No good ever goes unrewarded in the world of the Ribono Shel Olam. No good. It took 80 years, but it shows us, according to this Rashi, that God remembered it, put it away, and waited for the exact right time in order to pay Miriam back for the chesed that she did. And as he does with Miriam, so does he do with all of us. And sometimes we may feel that we don't see the rewards of our chasadim. We don't see the rewards of the sacrifices we do. But this Rashi tells us a promise that Hashem makes, that maybe it seems to us to be a long time before we get the reward. But no reward goes unrewarded in God's universe. For us, time goes one way, for Hashem another. But all good is rewarded in the end. It's a Torah thought. It only takes a moment. Shabbat Shalom.